we did it.
I think we did it. Hello and welcome everybody to another R&D Plays MTG stream. I am Paul Cheon, joined here by the one and only Donald Smith Jr. And today we're going to be playing some sweet standard brews, answer a bunch of questions. I'm sure a lot of you have lots and lots of questions. Let's head over to the screen here, and we got a lot of different options here. And I think we're going to fire it off by trying out Jody Keith's Rakdos deck. Which recently won an event, right?
Yeah, won Magic Fest Memphis.
Magic Fest, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Magic Fest Memphis. Okay, yeah, so it recently won a tournament, so it was pretty good. I actually lost to this a couple days ago, and I was like, man, CG and Commander, that thing really does a lot of work. Yeah. So, ooh, and Donald, two-time Mythic competitor. Yeah. I've actually been doing a lot of drafts, so I have not been playing a whole lot of Constructed, but yeah.
And this Chain Whirler's gonna be
nice. Oh yeah, Chain Whirler.
Already feeling it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ah! All right.
We may be able to block to force the sack and get him later.
Sure.
I don't know what I want to discard here. Maybe the Eldritch Reborn?
I would assume it's probably
or
one
a
of the
land.
Ooh, the land.
And we have to discard.
We have to discard it. Yeah. Right. I was like, maybe we don't have
Alright, I like the land. Actually.
Okay, sure. Yeah. I like the greedy line. All right, and just would like to apologize. We haven't actually streamed the past couple of weeks, but we have a good reason. So Seattle, it doesn't snow very much where we live, but when it does, the city basically shuts down. We don't really have an infrastructure because it snows so rarely. We don't have a good infrastructure to deal with a lot of snow, and so everybody basically was just working from home. Mm-hmm. So for the last couple of weeks, finally things are starting to melt, but you know, our car got stuck up on a hill for a bit. I had to help push my wife's car, you know, just so I could, you know, get out of work. I mean, it was a pretty dangerous game. I know people who live in actual places with actual winters are gonna be like, yo, I got 10 inches of snow and I still went to work. Yeah, but the problem is our city just kind of breaks down. Yeah. Also, it looks like we're getting destroyed now.
Yeah, we might be all right.
Okay.
But we're definitely ooh, okay, you just hit us for
What's up, gentlemen, comma, Cheon?
Ooh, LSV.
Are you assuming gentleman and also Cheon? Oh, ridiculous. Yeah. What about gentleman? Yeah, okay. Anyways, yeah. So anyways, there's a lot to be excited for. Of course, this coming weekend, we have our very first Mythic Championship of the season, you know, and which is also going to go alongside a Magic Fest. Yep. So that's going to be the first time. So it's going to be, you know.
Since Paris.
Yeah, since Paris, which was a really, really long time ago.
Before I was born.
Luis, what should I play at the Pro Tour? I mean, Mythic Champs. Yeah, I'm sure that was an accident, Luis. And, you know, I'm sure you've done your fair share of testing at this point and have a good idea what you're going to play. But, Grumpy Cat, Vintage Cube, currently, that is a lot of cards to program for Arena. So I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. But you have, of course, Magic Online if you do want to get your cube fix. But, you know, I did do a huge... I just want to say I did do a very, very big Legacy Cube, I guess, overhaul, you know? So that's going to be coming up fairly soon. So really excited for that. A lot of changes there.
I'm dead on board.
Hey, but I think we had a nice draw still.
Yeah.
Our opponent had a better draw.
The Loxodon, he just jammed it on 3. It was brutal.
That's the classic. I mean, that's how the white weenie that can beat the red decks, right? If they're on the play and they did a Loxodon. Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately people have settled on the Loxodon. You know, like when the set first came out, it was like, do you really want to tap down your team for Loxodon, blah blah blah? But it's just like with Chain Whirler in the format, that just single-handedly gives you a chance. Yeah. In that matchup.
It was also a big deal during when people were playing Deafening Clarion a lot too.
Right. And a new card that people have been playing, Unbreakable Formation.
Oh yeah.
That has just replaced Pride of Conquerors. You know, no more Pride of Conquerors. Now you have Clarion Protection. I mean, that card's done a lot of work. It's been really impressive. So I mean, that was kind of the goal when we made that card. When we were like, all right, we had this addendum spell that put counters on all your things, but we were like, well, we want a spell that's like playable against sweepers, because the white decks they're pretty weak to sweepers. So what can we do? And I mean, ultimately we settled on this, and I think we ended up at a pretty good spot. I think before at one point the two modes were kind of swapped, where like you instantly could put counters on all your things. But I was just like, first of all, that's more unfun, right? In creature matchups. Also, it's important to have the indestructible part be the instant to have counterplay against the decks with all the sweepers.
Yeah, and very, very smart addition with Kaya's Wrath too. We planned it perfectly.
Oh sure. Oh man, Kaya's Wrath. I know when they first brought it, when we were first talking about that card, I know. I mean, I was still relatively new, and I know, like, we talked about the philosophy behind 4-mana Wraths or whatever, and we were just like, wait, can we do this? Are you guys sure? Well, they're like, well, the mana cost. The mana cost makes it so that, we can't actually pull this off, because, BB Dub Dub, not going to be able to play that turn 4 very often.
Yeah.
Or unless you really stretch out your mana in a way. What's that percentage taking place of the Mythic ranking number? So the Mythic ranks go all the way down to the top 1,000?
1,200 or something.
Okay. So it goes to the top 1,000 something, and once you're below that, then you're a percentage of the top mythics. That's what happens. And if you don't play, I think it decays or something. Is that what happens?
Yeah.
It's weird.
I'm not sure if it decays. It just like you just get jumped by a bunch of people.
That's fair. But like, isn't there just balance where like other people go down?
Again, not really sure.
Right. Because I feel like if you don't do anything, your percentage. Oh, I guess there's always more people becoming mythic players.
Entering and playing. Yeah.
Right. Okay. What is your favorite game set? Like favorite Magic set?
Yeah.
It's a good question. I'm probably gonna be biased towards something that I started playing with. Like, what's yours?
Yeah, Theros.
Yeah,
because that's when I started.
That's when you started. Because I'm gonna say something like, that's a good question. Okay, so maybe a lot of people didn't like it because it was too complex, but I really enjoyed Time Spiral. That was just like, that was the type of set that was like created for spikes. Lots of words on a lot of cards, lots of action happening, but that's the kind of stuff I like. But I can also understand why it's not the most popular, because for somebody newer to Magic, it is a very, very complex set.
Yeah. Was that the one with like all the different mechanics?
Yeah.
They just invented mechanics for no reason.
There was like cards that like, hey, like in Future Sight.
Yeah.
In Future Sight, there's a bunch of stuff. Also, this isn't like a bunch of new cards, but I really enjoyed Modern Masters Limited. Original Modern Masters Limited, I had a lot of fun with.
Yeah, I never drafted that. I drafted the second one, which I liked a lot, and that was my first Grand Prix also. Oh,
is that the one with the Spirits theme?
Yeah. The
okay.
Spirits.
Yeah. What is our opinion? What is my opinion on Is It Drakes? Well, I saw last time we streamed, Michael Hinderaker was here, and he went like 9-1 with the deck.
Oh wow!
I think the Drakes deck is pretty strong. I think it's a legitimate deck. And that's a great thing about the blue-red spells deck. There's a lot of different ways you can build it, right? You can build it with Terramander, Drake, or you can go Arclight Phoenix. There's like a couple of different things you can do there. You can play Niv Mizzet. You can not have Niv Mizzet. A lot of strong options there, but I think it's a real deck, and I fully expect some people to bring Is It Drakes to the Pro Tour, because it's got that gameplay strategy that certain people really like to play with, right?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to read it, but I saw an article today about Teamer Drakes, which was pretty interesting to me. And I think it plays like
the green for. What's the green?
I think like Growth Spiral, and I'm not sure, but I think Rhythm of the Wild too says like
instead of maximize velocity.
Yeah. Nice. But then it also gets your Drakes out of Lava Coil range too.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. I like it though. A lot of people go really deep with adding the third color, but I'm just like, oftentimes I'm a firm believer of like not taking damage from my lands.
Yeah.
I really enjoy not taking damage from my lands. So like if I, if there's a third color and there's a card that's like decent, and I look at it, I'm like, it's got to really pull a lot of weight for me to actually want to go into that third color.
Yeah.
You know.
Especially if it's low curve cards, you just need a bunch more green sources.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like I understand, like you know, the black green deck splashing Hydrate Priestess because that's like a 6-drop or whatever, so you don't even need that many blue sources. But you know, if you're gonna be playing like Jund beat, or if you're gonna be playing like Bant Beatdown or whatever, right? Just you can't just play like you know a UG card and a UW card without just having 12 shocks in your deck or whatever. Any suggestion to surviving mono red in green blue without Wild Growth Walker? Best of luck. It's rough. I mean, I think right now that's the formula that people are using. Anytime you're playing a green deck, it's Wild Growth Walker plus the 4 Explore Creature package. And if you really want to beat red, that's probably the way to go. I mean, you could try to go just more big creatures. For example, X4s are pretty good. I know like a lot of their damage is 3 damage burn spells. So, you know, Thrashing Brontodon. If you just said straight blue-green, Zagana. You know, just a bunch of big creatures can often get the job done. But, realistically speaking, the Wild Growth Walker package is just so strong. I feel like that's just what a lot of the mid-range decks are going to be looking to do right now.
Yeah, and depending on the deck you are, like if you're Merfolk or whatever... First off, if you're Merfolk, you could just play Wild Growth Walker because the Explore creatures are Merfolk.
Yep.
And I've also had like Spell Pierce has been really effective against mono red. I found.
We are. It was looking good until they had Frenzy.
Yeah. They changed quite a few spells.
Right. Do I like Terramander over Arclight Phoenix or vice versa? You know, honestly, I really think that's a metagame thing. You know, if you expect a metagame where there's a lot of mid-range decks with a lot of spot removal, I think Arclight Phoenix is kind of where you want to be. But if you don't think that's the case and people are a little bit lighter on removal and you just want to be a little more proactive, I think Terramander is the way to go. But I mean, that's the thing. There's like, both are totally fine options.
Yeah, I feel Arclight Phoenix might crop back up at the Pro Tour. Like, it fallen out of favor, but I think now people don't really plan around it, and I think it could catch people off guard because it requires like different answers, right? Like you want instant speed removal or like graveyard interaction and stuff. While Terramander, like the Terramander direction is very tap out oriented with a dive down or whatever.
Right.
Like if like Arclight Phoenix is way better against sweepers.
Right.
You can't do.
Also,
anything.
I've just seen like more Crawl Harpooners and stuff, right?
Yeah,
How bad does it feel to play a turn 1 Terramander and your opponent just Harpooners it? You're like, dude, what the hell, you know? So yeah, I mean, Arclight Phoenix might be well positioned for the PT. You know, again, I'm very interested to see what happens there. Ooh, somebody suggested Runic Armasaur against mono red. That is a large creature, but then at that point, why aren't you just playing the Wild Growth Walker package, right? Because Runic Armasaur doesn't really do anything. It's just a 2/5. You know, I think part of the reason why that one was created was just for a lot of the activations from the energy deck, you know, where you get to draw a lot of cards for activated abilities, but also have a relevant enough body to be applied elsewhere. But given that Kaladesh is no longer part of Standard. But you know, I can see the Armasaur have uses if you know there is a deck that has a lot of sacrifice outlets or whatever.
Oof, it's not a good flip.
Oh, ooh, right. Did they expand on the Mythic ranking? Yeah, I think it was 1,000, but now it might be 1,200. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Donald would know better. I hit Mythic the first month, but this month I haven't really been playing a lot of Standard.
Yeah, I think it's 1,200, but it's super just not sure.
When can we expect the announcement that lets us know how to qualify for future MCs through our local game stores? You should be expecting that in the very, very near future, you know? We very much want to keep the dream of qualifying for the Pro Tour alive. We don't want to eliminate that. You know, the thing is, there's just a lot of things in flux right now, and a lot of different things that we're working on, and we just want to make sure that whatever it is that we do ultimately go with is, you know, something that will be well received. And you know, we just want to make sure that we've given the proper amount of time to just make sure we flesh everything out. But we are definitely working on those things. At Mythic 100%, do you get a real rank number? Yes. Then you go from 1 to 1200, I believe.
Yeah.
Have you like been following the race at all? Like, is it like pretty brutal?
Yeah, I've been following it some. Alexander Haynes just like at the top.
Is he still one?
Yeah, I don't know if he's still one, but he's up there.
Uh-huh.
And there's like a lot of familiar faces and a few people that I have no idea who they are. So just like.
I mean, that's really
people.
cool to see. I think with Arena, there's gonna be like this new influx of players that you haven't heard of.
Yeah.
Maybe from other games, or just now that there's like a legitimate way for you to, you know, make Magic into a potentially career. You know, it's like, hey, you know, I'm gonna start playing this a bunch and see what happens. So you're gonna see a lot. You know, it's not just gonna be the same pros that you've seen all the time, right? At the top of the leaderboard, there's gonna be a lot of new faces.
Yeah. Also, what's interesting to me is I recognize some people, but I'm like, you don't peg them as like they were never like at a Worlds or won a Pro Tour or anything,
right.
But they're just grinding away, and you're like, oh, this person's probably way better than I thought.
Well, you know, I think that happens a lot, like where, you know, there is variance in Magic, and sometimes you know people just don't get the right breaks, right?
Yeah.
Mike Sigrist has played Magic forever. He's played Magic forever, and he's only really like kind of really been crushing it over the last 3 or 4 years, you know, even though he's been playing the game for like over 15, you know, but he just needed that breakout.
Yeah. Similar to Jody Keith, who won with this deck. He's been playing since the beginning of Magic, and this is his first Grand Prix win.
Yeah.
And also just like the commitment some people can make in terms of travel, like they're like Scott Lipp, for example, he's consistently high on the leaderboard, but he has a family and stuff. But now he's just like, okay, I could just play at my home, and he's really up there in the Mythic ranks.
Right. I know he's also like a store owner. I wonder if he just plays from the store a bunch.
I did not know that, actually. Okay.
Yeah, that shirt that he wears, I think that's for his store.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow, this is a giant token.
Yep. I don't even want to sack my treasure. Yeah. I'm not in the card drawing business right now.
What do you think about philosophy about create new cards for MTG every year? Are they okay, so I think I get the question. The question is, what do we think about the philosophy about making new cards for Magic every year? Should we stop because cards are expensive? Well, we shouldn't stop because Magic is a business and we make money by making Magic cards. So we cannot stop making Magic cards or else we won't be here anymore. Yeah. We are going to continue creating awesome Magic sets that all of you will hopefully enjoy. Although I don't know what dispersive. I sorry if I got the question wrong, but yes, we will continue to make new Magic cards. Mono Blue and Sultai were the top decks apparently.
Yeah, there were both 2 ofs in the top 8. There was 2 Mono Blue, 2 Sultai, 1 Blue Green Nexus, 1 Rakdos, 1 Gruul, and 1 Mono White.
Yeah, the one thing that I'm really happy about, just from how the format's been shaping up, is just like, you know, especially once we're at our final form, you know, like there's just so many different things you could do, so many different color combinations to explore, right? Like even when we were like testing the format, we're like, all right, is there like a wedge we haven't tested, you know, or like, all right, there's this guild, but what if we add this color, you know? It's just like. And still it hasn't been solved just because there's so many different combinations of cards out there, so many powerful things you can be doing. So, you know, sure, Sultai and maybe Mono Blue was popular, but, you know, I wouldn't be shocked even at the PT if there were just, at the Mythic Championships, if there was just a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Esper Control? I think it's a very good deck. You know, I think maybe the mana's a little bit shaky. I mean, honestly, like, but you know, you're just playing a bunch of very powerful cards. You know, if I were to guess, I would guess that Shaheen's probably going to play Esper Control at the Mythic Championship. What are the best decks?
Beats me.
I don't know. I know that the Sultai deck and the blue deck is popular. You know, there's white weenie, there's mono red. There's some Gruul or Teamer aggressive decks with Domri. You know, that's a card that I'm expecting to see more of. I mean, that Domri is just a very, very strong card.
Yeah.
So
I feel people are sleeping on that one a little bit.
yeah. Like, my opponent played Domri, then like minus, and then revealed like a Krasis and a Skargan Hellkite, and I was like, well, I'm dead.
Yep.
What's the philosophy behind designing cards with Modern in mind? How do you account for that many permutations? Do you just release stuff and fix aberrations with the ban list? Okay, so, you know, every time we do create sets, we are aware of cards that could potentially hit Modern. Of course, you know, our resources are a little bit taxed to the point where we can't just test every single card and put it into every single deck and try out all the Modern stuff. But we can still theory craft, right? Like, we can be like, okay, you know, how will this card, how will Assassin's Trophy play out in Jund, for example?
Yeah.
You know, and we can talk about it. We're like, okay, well, this is a good card, but at the same time, you know, we don't think it's gonna like completely break the game. Now, if we think that's gonna happen, then we might make adjustments. And you know, sometimes we just miss things, right? Because Modern is so like, you know, if you just told us to build a Lantern control deck, you know, if that deck didn't exist, there's no way we're gonna make that deck, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times there's gonna be these wacky cards where we're just not gonna know like how it's gonna play out. And you know, if something goes a little wild, then we can make adjustments afterwards. But for the most part, we do focus primarily on Standard, but we also are aware of Modern. And, you know, if we think that there's going to be like a Modern shot, you know, we'll take some shots here and there.
Yeah, and like, even though Modern is such a big format, a lot of the strongest cards are very well known. Like, there's not going to be much better than Mox Opal, so you could just hone in on Mox Opal, right?
Yeah.
And if something does catch us off left field, then that's cool. That
Right.
made a new deck. So
Right.
that's just pretty upside. And
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Modern is now getting to the point. It's so big, right? Like, compared to like when it first came out, where we had to ban a bunch of cards, and then we were like, oh, Modern now has 10 new sets in it. We could probably unban a bunch of these cards, and you know, for the most part, everything's been fine. Yeah, so it is tougher to find things. My thing is, from what I've seen so far, oftentimes the things that make Modern decks are the cards that don't make you use mana, right? So in GRN, for example, it was Arclight Phoenix and Creeping Chill, right?
Yeah.
Those are the cards. Like, actual spells, unless they're like hyper efficient, really, really hard to get them to work. Does Carnage hit walkers?
Yeah, but only one damage.
Oh no, I was talking about the Blightning effect.
Oh,
it does
the
not.
Blightning, no. Yeah. And even in the case, like, I think Arclight Phoenix is an awesome deck in Modern. So
Right.
And yeah, Creeping Chill was a little scary, but then people just started playing Graveyard Hate again, and it was fine.
Yeah. And keep in mind, it's not like, you know, we have Dave Humphreys, we call him Data Dave. He's always looking into all the information in terms of win rates and something like that. And so, you know, if something is a little bit concerning, and if people are talking about it within the community, we are keeping tabs on, you know, all the powerful formats. I mean, we do have those discussions. As you know, we do have the, you know, we do release, you know, our updates to the ban list, and we talk about Modern cards, Standard cards, you know, and even some of the older formats too, like Legacy and Vintage. So always have our eyes open, eyes peeled, in case we need to make some changes.
Goblin Electromancer.
Did you predict that Gurmag Angler would find its way to Modern? Yeah, I wouldn't. That's not super surprised. I mean, I think a lot of people probably would, because I wasn't here for that. But a lot of people would have probably guessed that Tassiger is the Modern card that people would see. But apparently, Gurmag Angler is where it's at.
But again, yeah, I wasn't here either. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Delve was a pretty no-brainer.
Yeah.
Hit, right?
I think that was one of the ones where like they were like, this is gonna affect Modern and Legacy. We'll see what happens. And it's like, oh, okay, it was a little too strong, and then they had to make adjustments.
But even then, those cards were so fun for Standard that I think it was kind of worth it.
Yeah. No, I mean that's the thing. I believe, again, I don't want to put words in anybody's, but I believe that like that's kind of where they were at. They kind of were aware that this was something that could affect the older formats, but they were like, look, this is going to make for a really, really fun Standard environment. And they did. The Delve cards were awesome for Standard.
Yeah.
They were like the perfect power level for Standard. And then, you know, obviously in a format with billions of fetch lands and 1-mana cantrips, then they get a little bit better. How strong do you think the Gate Matter Standard decks... How strong do you or did we think all the Gates Matter Standard decks would be? We definitely tested the Gates deck. And so, you know, we knew that it was an option. The jury's still out there as to whether or not it's an actual tier 1 deck.
Yeah.
But it is powerful enough for people to still like take to their FNMs and have fun with.
Yeah, we were very well aware.
Yeah.
It used to be like way better too. Like,
yeah. I mean, the goal with that deck is like, hey, like, you know, we want this to be a super cool, fun, casual deck that might see some fringe constructed play. And I think that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah. And even if it's tier 2, like sweet, that's a very
Oh, what just happened?
Wait, am I just...
What just Goblin Electromancer and Heroic? We're super dead.
Okay.
Wow.
I thought I had that in the bag.
Yeah.
I was just on autopilot. I'm like, nothing matters. Don't even play the Siege Gang right now.
Right. Krotesh, you know I can't be talking about cards in War. Will there be Magic cards in War? Yes.
All right, think I'm gonna
switch it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like 1 and 3. I'm gonna try this Esper Pirates deck that Ken Yukihiro. I don't know what place he got, but I know he placed at GP Memphis with it.
All right. This one is a little bit questionable, but it's got a bunch of rares. It's got a lot of good cards, but it's got like the convolute. But it costs 2 mana if you have a pirate card in the deck.
Lookout's Dispersal.
But it's only got 8 pirates in the deck.
Yeah.
So the way I look at it, it's not even clear to me that card is better than Quench. Just because, like, I'm like, you just like I feel like you just want the 2-mana counter if you kind of want the 2-mana counter a lot. But
hey,
anyways,
4 is twice as good as 2.
It is.
Just gonna put that out there.
3 is also like almost twice as much as 2 in the context of Standard, though. What's the process between card design and storytelling? What comes first? Well, I mean, oftentimes they're working kind of hand in hand.
Yeah.
They go back and forth. You know, we'll come up with some designs, and then they'll try to create like a story with the designs. But like, yeah. I mean, I would say that they're very closely tied together. They work the set design team and the creative team work together, you know, very regularly. I am not aware of what issues we have with queue time since the patch. I will say I don't know how the pairings work, but I've like done drafts and I was like plat or something, and just like round 1 just played against Mythic rank 7th player in limited. So I have no idea how the pairings work.
It pairs by your record first and then rank 2nd.
Oh, okay.
So it more simulates like a real draft.
Okay. So if you're doing well, you're probably running into you have a higher chance of running into Mythic players because they're better, so they will have higher win records a lot of the time.
Yep.
Why didn't our opponent shock our freebooter?
Not sure.
Alright, this is looking good. We're at like 17 here.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I'm feeling pretty good about this game. Some time too.
Yep. Ooh, are we going like
I
greedy line?
want to chart a course into a land. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking you were gonna do.
Alright,
And we're not blocking with this thing anyways.
Yeah. I'm doing it.
And if not, like, look, if we don't draw a land, we're probably drawing like a 2-drop or a removal spell. Oh god, it's fine. It's fine.
That was close.
Oh,
Chaining
him off. All right. So again, I know you're trying to get us to slip, but we cannot really talk about anything in relation to the cards that might be available in future sets.
Yeah, I learned my lesson from last time.
Yes. Oh, Donovan Bean.
Okay, this is interesting.
Wow, we have so much action.
I want a house to checker this. What do you think about that?
Do we have spells in our area? Or is it a 1/2? Okay, yeah, it's a 2/2. Yeah. Like our mini biogenic ooze.
Very many.
Yeah. You don't have to talk. You can just show. Oh yeah, let me just print out some cards and yeah. I bet we get a lot of viewers.
Yeah, we would.
And then we'd be jobless, but we'd have lots of viewers.
Do it for the fame.
Yeah. No, not a mukbang stream. I just got my coffee. Not a mukbang. The one I did on my stream was pretty epic.
You did a mukbang?
I did a mukbang. It was like I was setting up like I would only do it if we like first it was like a joke. I think like Luis.
Donation
I know,
goal?
yeah. I think Luis got like people involved. And then I was like, all right. So I came up with some arbitrarily large number because I didn't really want to do it. So I was like, all right, if I get like, whatever, $200 in donations today, I'll do a mukbang. And then obviously get it very easily. And then I just ordered like infinite food, like 10 pounds of Korean food. And then I just started going nuts. We went well over my normal stream time there. Ate for like 2 extra hours. It was great. How am I doing? Enjoying the Wizards game? Yes, a lot of fun. Every day is great. Get to play Magic for a living, so it's like I'm in the MPL basically.
Yeah. Wait, Luis sent a pizza to your house one time?
Oh yeah, Luis also sent the pizza to my house one time, and then I ate all of it. It was great.
Alright, I'm assuming this is lethal.
Serious question though, do we have degrees? If so, in what? No, I do not have a degree. I had 1 year of college remaining, and then I decided to play Magic professionally.
So I think that's actually a common theme. I don't have a degree either. I think a lot of people in play design and probably in R&D in general almost have degrees.
Right.
So I have 1 class / 5, 1 semester / 5 classes left.
Yeah. I mean, I think if a lot of people already have degrees, but like play design specifically, a lot of us are professional gamers, professional Magic players. So they just, it's like spend a lot of time just playing competitive Magic. But there are a lot of math people here, and oftentimes if I'm looking to come up with some models or whatever, I will look to these math people to help me out.
Yeah, one of the lead designers, Eric Lauer, he has 3 degrees, a bachelor's in math, something in computer science, and then he is a PhD.
Yeah.
In it's math, computer science, and computer engineering. I don't know which he has a PhD in or whatever.
Right.
But he used to be a professor.
Right.
Oh man, 1 off lethal. I should have attacked with a spirit last turn. I feel like we're gonna die now.
Yeah, well, Flame of Keld's going off next turn. They have 2 cards.
Ooh, wait.
And they're gonna risk factor.
I should have exiled that. I milled it into his graveyard.
How could you have exiled it?
Just take it with thief.
Oh,
I gave it.
You let him mill it. Oh my! Oh, you took a chain whirler. This is. Oh my god.
No, not like this.
Well, okay. So if we take 4, wait, they didn't cast it.
What?
Oh, okay.
Wait, that might be really scary. That might be just have like 12
Like 2 lightning strikes in their hand. Okay, if they have just 3 burn spells, we're just dead, right?
Yeah.
What if they just play a Chain Whirler?
I think we take 6 here? 6 or 3 cards?
Well, they only have 3 mana.
So 3 cards, yeah?
I think so. Because if it's 3 shocks, that's just 9 damage.
Okay, yeah. No, 3 shocks is 12.
Oh, you're right. No. Shock does 2. Oh, it does +2, not +1.
Okay, well, we're good.
Unless they go land.
No. Oh, no, we're good. Oh, they could go land.
They can still play a land. Land shock still does it. Oh, it's so close. 1, not 0. Not 0. Oh my goodness.
Oh man, I played that so badly.
Yeah. Hope Luis doesn't bring the Cheon shirt. Luis will always bring the Cheon shirt because that's the only way he'll top 8 these Pro Tours, these Mythic Championships. Look, see, it's not just me; it's everybody. Everybody. We need to. You know what we need? We need like a jar where we like, you know, every time we say Pro Tour, we put like a booster pack. Yeah, put a booster back in that jar. I wouldn't be shocked if even like in coverage people do it. You know, just like welcome to the. Ooh. But you know, things are a changing. It's a nice little value hand.
Yeah.
Play badly, get rewarded. This is certainly a Paul stream. Just so aggro. You know, people used to be so much nicer to me.
Oh, really?
Before Louis started trolling me, and so now everybody thinks they can do it. You know,
yeah, it's just a cool thing to do.
It's just yeah.
That game was way too close.
Was Wilderness Reclamation considered being printed at rare? I remember at one point I looked at it. I was thinking that this looked like a rare. You know, I was like, this could be a rare, but I think that it was more like a space issue, and like we were trying to be like, hey, would this be like, could we make this an uncommon? And ultimately, that's what we went with. Yeah, but you know, certainly it could be a card that I don't think it's quite mythic enough. Like there might need to be like extra text on it for mythic, but. Yeah.
Yeah, I think even rares are stretch, really.
Right. But like, you know, I also don't think it's necessarily bad to have like cool uncommons that look like rares. Exactly. I mean, I think kind of Dominaria started that, you know, where you had all these like sweet uncommons that looked like they could potentially be rares. Yeah. And I mean, honestly too, right? From a consumer perspective, like you opened an uncommon that looks like a rare, and now you get to play with it. It looks really sweet. So.
Yeah, I like cool uncommons.
Oh, I think we're dead. Like when your opponent just fires off skewer that. I love me a bugler. I made so many bugler decks.
Same.
Just, you know, unfortunately for the mono white decks, you know, you got your wombo combo of Banalish Martial history, which is hard to compete with, but Militia Bugler is such a sweet card. Yeah. That was a lot of burn.
Yep.
Something. Yeah. My hope is by the end of today's stream, we will be in the top 1200.
Yeah. I want to get your hopes up. We're playing a lot of decks I never played before.
Yeah, we're playing a lot of Jake. Yeah. Playing a lot of Jake. What did you use to hit Mythic?
I used this Teamer deck that I made. I call it Teamer Sultai because I basically just took the Sultai shell and cut the black cards for Domri and Lava Coil.
Is that like the Tom Ross thing with White Jund?
Yeah, basically. yeah. And it was just like really good against the other Sultai decks that everyone else was playing.
Help Collector.
I think this Freebird is gonna whiff.
Oh, we're gonna get Domri. Just watch.
Nope.
You know, I really like. By the way, did you notice the update that they made? Now there's a little eyeball that shows you what. Because like there was no way before to show you what cards that your opponents knew you had. But now there's like a little eyeball sign for all the cards that we know they have. Man, they have a pretty good draw.
Yeah.
These freebooters, though.
Do you think we should counter it?
I think we should counter it, yeah.
Look how good this pirate card was.
Quench would have done the same thing.
Alright, certainly they have a non-creature spell
Oh
now.
Oh, hey, we missed again.
Oh, we could double block this now.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
yeah.
pretty good.
And we can steal a Thor Lieutenant or something. Hopefully there's a better target. But
Yeah, I don't have my hopes up.
why wasn't Pierce the critics an instant? Oh, Skewer the critics an instant? I keep thinking it is because it feels like Lightning Bolt. Power level. I mean, the card is still seeing play at sorcery,
Yeah.
so I think we're happy with where it ended up.
Also, Spectacle's like super annoying with shock lands.
Oh yeah, we don't have a lot of instant spectacle,
We
right?
have none.
Yeah. The only one you can do instant speed is like Gutter Bones. It's like
Yeah.
pseudo spectacle.
I don't even think that's one. That says sorcery too.
Does it say sorcery?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I thought you could get it off your opponent's shocking.
No, that's why we didn't do it. Ultimately.
Right.
It's just so. It's just like a lame feeling, right? Oh, shock. It's like, okay, I got you. And
Right.
Spectacle a bunch of stuff now. Alright. Now we just have to. We have to get something.
Oh no!
This card is so scary, actually. Like,
Yeah. That card's savage. Oh my! What is happening? Oh god!
Mono green's the deck that just always gets me.
Perfect.
I actually don't think I could kill Galta in this deck.
Hostage shaker.
Okay. Yep, I guess that's it. That ain't it.
I think we did.
Yep, we're dead.
All right. So does anybody have any additional questions? We will try to answer them to the best of our ability. I know there's a lot of different topics that we have to be careful with, but yeah, at least just when it comes to standard, RNA specifically, spend a lot of time, of course, on this. This is because you came in. Was it basically around RNA?
Yeah, I was at the end of Guilds of Ravnica FFL, but yeah, I remember doing a lot of RNA drafts, and like RNA was the first set in FFL that I did from start to finish.
Yep.
Oof.
Who is the best Planeswalker and why is it Tibble? Well, you already answered the question.
Yep. This ain't pretty.
Oh man, this is exactly what I mean, by the way, when it's like, hey, let's play the third color. Sometimes you get draws like this. How's it going, Patty B, MTG? Why Quench instead of Mana Leak? Well, Mana Leak would be a fantastic card in Standard if it existed, but it is not legal. It is not legal. But Quench still gets done. I mean, people played Revolutionary Rebuff. Remember that? Woo!
People are playing Quench.
Yeah, that's it. And the only reason why you probably don't see as many Quenches is there's a lot of great 2-mana options right now for counter spells. You have Syncopate, Essence Scatter, and
Negate.
and Negate as well.
Essence Capture, Mono Blue's playing that.
Oh yeah, Essence Capture is a nice one. I will say that I'm like firmly in the Quench wagon. I do like just 2-mana counter spells, but even within play design, it's a hotly contested topic in terms of who likes those effects and who doesn't. Some people think they're unplayable. I'm like, the real world always plays it. Uh-oh. Losing the die roll was pretty unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. And having these two come and tap, that was the real thing. We would have been able to play perfectly.
That was a dark time rebuff. Yeah, I know. You're holding the rebuff, your opponent just plays the Smuggler's Copter, and you're like, what am I doing with my life? Why am I playing this unplayable control deck? Why can't I... here. What was the reasoning behind not giving green common enchantment removal in RNA limited? You know, I think it was more like we didn't think that there was like a ton of enchantment that needed to be answered. I think one thing was we probably shot low on the inheritance card.
Yeah.
The like that card ended up probably being a little bit stronger than we anticipated. I mean, I still don't think the card's like insane, but like there are certainly matchups where it does a lot of work. And also the build around uncommons for limited are also like overperforming. Like what is it? High Alert and Dovin's Acuity. Both of those cards are very like I really enjoy drafting those decks when like on Arena. And so, you know, if we were to do it again, maybe we would have had some kind of disenchant effect or whatever in green. Yeah, and that's something, you know, to be more mindful of in the future too. I think oftentimes what happens too is just, especially like for cards that we deem as limited uncommons, they change a lot. They just change a lot.
Yeah.
And they can go from like wildly unplayable to like, oh wow, this card's legit. And then like, you know, sometimes we just need to like make sure we're aware of this and balance accordingly.
Happened again. These check lanes.
Oh, again?
At least this is a slower matchup, so it should be fine.
Hello, Mr. Helmf and Mr. Donald. How long have you been working at R&D, and which sets have you been? Well, I've been here for almost 2 years. No, year and a half. Donald's been here for over a year. And I basically started work with GRN, and Donald has been working since basically the tail end of GRN along with RNA, and then we've been, of course, focusing on all the future sets since, because we are on the play design team. We don't just focus primarily on one set. We focus on, you know, like every set that's about to come out. We give that set, you know, their 3 months of primary focus. Of course, we make sure we still focus on those sets afterwards. But you know, it's basically like whatever you guys are testing, we're just in the future. Hence FFL, the Future League. Let's see. Are you okay with 2 monocolor decks dominating so much of the play space in RNA? I mean,
which two?
There's a lot of like the only monocolor deck that doesn't exist in standard is the mono black deck, right?
Yeah.
Like you have, we just lost to the green stompy deck. Of course, the red and white decks and the blue decks are all popular. But then you're also seeing a lot of guild decks. I think there's honestly just a really good balance right now. I think it was a lot worse for us when it was just like mono chain whirler decks. Yeah. You know, when it was just all red black or whatever. But right now, I think it's pretty healthy.
Yeah, I wouldn't use the word dominating. They're not dominating by any sense of the word, in my opinion. Right? There's one mono white deck that top 8'd. There's 2 mono blue decks, and I think it's just all of those are really parts.
Did our opponent hostage take our Thief of Sanity, or do they have it in their deck?
They have it in their deck.
This the whole Thief of Sanity Ritual of Sit deck is a little questionable, but you know, best of one.
But we're getting wrecked by it.
Yeah, so Donald and I, again, I know, I just want to answer this now because we're probably going to get this question a lot. We are not in charge of figuring out what we're going to do in terms of Grand Prix coverage and all that stuff. So we cannot answer those questions. You know, when the time comes, we will make whatever announcements that we need to with regards to, you know, what we're going to do for anything else related to Magic. But the questions that, you know, we can primarily answer are the ones that relate to set design, cards, individual cards, and, you know, limited, standard, all that good stuff. Let's see. Did you expect the Gates archetype to be as popular as it is in standard, or more of just a fun, limited archetype?
I think it definitely was unexpected, but it wasn't like, oh my god, well, this came out of nowhere. We knew the Gates deck. We knew the cards were strong. It's a really weird deck to get the perfect configuration right.
Right.
But I mean, we're happy with it, right?
I think it's a lot harder to pull off in real life.
Yeah.
First of all, everybody likes doing the gate thing if they can. Also, a lot of people draft 3 colors.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of speculative gates. So you don't table gates very often.
Mm-hmm.
I think you see that happen a little more often in Arena. So you can get sweeter gate decks on Arena than you would in the real world. But on top of that, the payoffs are just stronger. For limited, for example, in RNA than they were for GRN, because Gate Colossus is just legit. Like that thing, like even if you only have like 4 or 5 gates in your deck, you should just play the card.
Yeah,
it's like a 5 or 6 mana 8/8 that's hard to block, and if they do somehow kill it, if you draw another gate, boom, you just get another 8/8. Like that thing does a ton of work, and of course, you know, we printed a sweeper at Uncommon too, so that helps out a lot too. So yeah. Also, I think we also buffed the RAM. The Gatebreaker RAM. It used to just get bigger, but we added the Vigilance and Trample, so now it's like very, very legit, you know? Plays offense and defense. Candace, but hey Paul, missed the Cheon family streams. How is Big Boy Jake? Big Jake is about to turn 3 very, very soon. So yeah, he is in fact becoming a very large boy. And Kyle is 5.5. Can you say anything about Count Brett? All you want me to talk about is the next set. Like literally every question you've asked. The next set will be very cool, along with all the other sets we make. As an employee at WotC, do you have any regular contact with Hasbro representatives? I think I would say that probably people higher up in the chain interact with the Hasbro people more so than us. Is there a certain process to deciding which abilities Planeswalkers would have? The lower past abilities help you choose. We are definitely aware of the previous suite of effects that Planeswalkers have if we reprint their name. For example, if we're going to make, you know, another Jace, it's probably going to draw cards, you know, and it's probably, you know, good likelihood you can, you know, read by spells or bounce creature. You know what I mean? We look at all the different things Jace has done in the past and make sure that it kind of feels like Jace. If we make just a blue Planeswalker named Jace and it doesn't feel like Jace, we're like, okay, what like, that's not something that we're looking to do. Yeah, man, we're just getting crushed with that. Yeah. Just wanted to say I love how new Domri plays. Made me very excited for the set and getting back into Standard. Yeah, when we saw Domri, I was just like, all right, is this enough for Brian Kibler to play Magic again? That's the question, you know? It's like, I mean, that, like, if he decided to choose and play one of our Mythic Championships, I mean, Llanowar Elf, 4 Llanowar Elf, 4 Domri would have been my guess as to what, you know, the cards that he chooses to play in his deck. Are you disappointed with the power level of Kaya? No.
Yeah, I've actually been seeing a lot more people playing Kaya, actually, in, like, Esper control and just different things, so...
Right.
Did exactly
Ooh,
what we
very
wanted.
good draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the thing is, we just need to make sure that there's always this nice balance in terms of, like, you know, how many Planeswalkers we have, how many of them are going to have constructed impacts. There's just, like, this balancing game that we're always playing. And, you know, I think Kaya was mostly positioned as a sideboard option. Yeah. It's a very good anti-graveyard card, along with, you know, potentially a chance at some kind of modern deck or something. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where she was positioned. But, you know, the fact that people play it in Standard, sometimes it gets through us. I remember, what was it, Infernal Reckoning?
Yeah.
That was a card that was positioned for Modern. That was like, hey, this card is probably going to be good against, like, Affinity and Eldrazi, and people played it in their control sideboards. Yeah. That was, like, I thought that was pretty awesome. Wow, this is a really nice curve. This Johnny's Primate might be the biggest thing on the board soon, though.
I don't even think it's going to be that big a deal.
Yeah, okay.
Can you hint as to what Basilica Bell Hunt looked like before it got switched late? So, I think it was like some sort of activated ability that was like Obsidat or something, I think.
Oh yeah, we spent a lot of time on that one. And then ultimately we settled on limited card that probably won't see any constructed play and it sees constructed play.
Yeah. And, well, that's what the community thought too. Everyone was clowning us like, oh, this is like clearly the weakest card of the cycle. And then it's actually just the most like
the most played, right?
The second most, because Crackling Drink's the most, right?
Right. I meant from Arena.
Yeah, from Arena, it clearly is. So
yeah.
I don't know. People were just dogging us about that card, but
yeah.
it's actually just really good.
Anytime something ETBs and gets you value, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and I always thought that card was up to something too.
It's like it's got a reasonable
pretty
body.
Close to Rhino.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Now the Primate's a problem.
Yeah. I think I could still get him though, right? Because he eats the...
Does the Spellbreaker trample? No,
yeah.
Right? It does, right?
Yeah. So he takes 1 here, chumps here. So he'll take 2. And all he does is eat my Pet Collector. So yeah, I think that's worth it.
Kyle is great. Srek. Kyle is great. Take a look at some questions here.
Just the usual bunch of stuff we can't answer.
yeah. If we don't necessarily answer a question, it means very likely that we can't answer the question.
Yeah.
So. We got a win?
Our 3rd win.
Oh my god. What's our record on the day? It's rough.
Probably like 3 and 7 right now.
Nice 30% win rate. Breathe if there is a new one. Oh man. Damn. Favorite restaurant? The thing is, I don't actually go to Seattle very often. First of all, it's just chaos driving in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And I live in Bellevue. I kind of live in the suburbs because that's just where you want to raise a family.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't go there very often. I did go to like a pretty nice chicken karage place. It's like Japanese fried chicken.
Okay.
So I went to one of those, but I haven't eaten too much. And yeah, I think a really good person to answer this question would be Gavin. Gavin is a big time food person, and he would know all the great places to eat. There's like a decent ramen place nearby that I go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's just so much good food. Like,
yeah.
JC would actually know too.
Oh yeah, JC. Yeah, I mean he's from here too, right?
Pro Tour champion.
Pro Tour champion JC Tao. What sparked the idea to have Nicol Bolas invade the guilds? You'd have to ask the creative people. I do not know. I am not a lore smith. I think actually within play design, Andrew Brown knows the lore the best. I think he interacts.
Yeah.
I think he interacts the most with the creative team,
Mm-hmm.
so he kind of understands a little bit about the story, with what's going on. Is there a card you're hoping has a breakout performance this weekend at the MC? I would like for there to just be a nice distribution of decks.
Yeah.
That's ultimately what we want. What we want is for there to be lots of different powerful strategies for people to explore.
Yeah. But
sure. Domri is a good choice.
Yeah, Domri is one, but even more broad than that, I just hope like a Gruul deck does well, and we're kind of seeing the Gruul decks do better. So like this deck list we're playing, Scott Lip, he's really high. He won an RPTQ with this deck, and has been grinding on Arena with it, doing very well. And also the top 8 of Magic Fest Memphis had a Gruul deck that was similar. So I think people are catching on.
If you look at the Gruul cards, they're all just
yeah.
2 mana 3/3 or 2/2 haste, 3 mana 4/4 trample or 3/3. You know what I mean? Domri, like there's just so many powerful creatures here.
Here's a question earlier. Who's your favorite Planeswalker lore and mechanic wise?
Ooh, my favorite Planeswalker lore and mechanic. That's a good question.
All right, my answer is Chandra because I like burning things, and also she has like, if you read like her flavor text and stuff on different cards, she's like just kind of sassy and like a little bit of a troll. So
okay,
kind of fits me.
Fair enough. God, I am just way.
Just who's your favorite Planeswalker card?
Yeah, my favorite. I think it's between Gideon or Jace.
Okay.
It's one of those two. I really liked 5-mana Gideon, just like just the perfect stabilized card when I played with, and then of course I'm a blue mage at heart, so love me a Jace as well.
Yeah, 5-mana Gideon. What was it? It was like it went up to 7 and forced everyone to attack it or something.
I think it might have gone up to 8. I think it might have gone like it was like impossible to kill.
Yeah.
And then it was like -2, kill a tap creature, and then 0 it becomes like a 6/6 or something.
That is a really cool card. Yeah. The funniest thing in Modern is like that card is like if you actually want to beat Infect, like
right,
that is the single-handedly best card against it. Which is funny because you expect it to be like a cheap interactive spell, but it's just this 5-mana Planeswalker.
Dude, Collision Colossus.
Oh yeah. This card's been seeing a lot of play.
That is super nice.
And this is why. Later.
Although, I guess maybe it's better to attack first. Because the pump spell, if they block. I mean, it's unlikely that they're blocking, but...
Yeah.
Bring back Garruk. Garruk is also... Yeah, every Garruk is like, make a token, get value. So.
I love the 9-mana one where it's just like +1 kill a Planeswalker. Like that was like one of the fun.
Oh, the 7-mana one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 7.
Destroy target Planeswalker. That one's always in the queue because like I'm gonna be honest, Golgari it's rough. It's slim pickings for sweet Golgari cards.
I think I just went in here.
Well, given that you gave it haste, give it haste. Ah, okay, go.
Right. Haste tank. Ooh, I didn't want to see that. Oh wait.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
he's going to 1.
He's going to 1. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of very, very strong creatures, right? At this point, like for example, the metagame, I wouldn't even be surprised if you have the Harpooner main, right? Like, Crawl Harpooner is just legit if you expect a lot of mono blue. Right? Look at this. Just
he has 3 blockers. Oh wait, but oh no, this doesn't have triple. Dang. Wait,
but we got outs now.
I think a
Collision Colossus.
Yeah.
Do we have Shock?
We have 2 Lightning Strike. That ain't it. It's sad.
You miss banding? A lot of people. I'm gonna say, not a lot of people miss banding. I don't even understand banding. Every time some flashback set comes on Magic Online and there's banding, I'm like, oh my god, what is banding again? Like, how do I distribute this damage?
I don't even know how regenerate works.
Yeah. Regenerate. I missed Bushido, but you didn't hear it from me. Hey, Bushido is like totally reasonable.
What's Bushido?
Bushido is whenever a creature gets blocked or blocks, it gets +1 or +X until end of turn equal to the Bushido. So for example, like 2-mana 2/2 Bushido 1. If you block it, it becomes a 3/3, and if it blocks, it's a 3/3.
Sweet.
That's it. Yeah, Bushido's fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why did we have to make that like such a plain?
Yeah, now it's like,
word?
man, we want to make Bushido again, but like Bushido's not gonna work in like Dominaria. Yeah.
It's like, welcome to Ravnica, the city of guilds with Bushido.
Yeah. But there is a small village filled with samurai, like a secret village.
Yeah, it's always interesting how we have to like. With card names and stuff, sometimes we have to like ping creative like, okay, we want this to be a generic name so we could reuse it later.
Right. Ooh.
I'm not feeling good about this lava coil.
Yeah. I mean, oh. Wait. So they have. Wait, how many spells do they have?
Yeah, I'm counting right now. 1, 2, 3, 4.
5,
5,
6.
6.
So it's 1. Is it 1 mana? Oh, 2 mana.
Ooh, good attack. Yeah.
Because they have to block Spellbreaker with the Drake, right?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Some good attacks.
That was good.
That's nice.
Very nice. All right, our opponent's at 1.
Oh, counting when there's an Enigma drink on the battlefield.
Oh.
Whoops.
Look.
Lethal threat.
Yeah. Ooh, man. That's good.
I'm like pointing on the screen, leaning in.
It's like right behind the graveyard that's popped up. There's an Enigma drink. All right. Okay. We got this.
Got one shot, one opportunity. Oh god.
What can this be? Oh man. Okay. Why didn't they just fire that off main phase?
Yeah.
Like they're gonna have to do it anyways, and if they draw Enigma Drake, you want to play it. Or Chart of course. Do you guys have a favorite planes, and why is it Innistrad?
I never played Innistrad. Well, I played Shadows over Innistrad.
I hear lots of good things. Actually, I didn't play that much either. That's when I lived on a small Caribbean island and did not play much Magic. I actually did. This is crazy to me now. I didn't have like functional internet for like over a year.
Wow.
It was yeah. Like our landlord would not let us install internet. He did not want us to like because it didn't have the setup for like phone lines and stuff. So he didn't want us to drill around the house. So we had this really crappy like little device that was like a wireless thing that we just plugged into the wall. But it was like you couldn't game on, you know. Oh, nice, very nice.
And another. Yeah. What card do you think is super slept on right now, and what card do you think is you're surprised that it's that popular? We were kind of alluding to Domri before, so I feel like I need a different answer.
I would say that the card that I'm surprised about, maybe everybody's gonna think I'm very dumb now, is actually Hydroid Crisis. Now, like in the sense that like clearly it is a good card, right? It gives you a lot of value and all that stuff. But in my mind, I thought it would have a home in like a hyper ramp deck, right? Like a deck that's like ramping a bunch and then using the Hydro Crisis to fill up. I really didn't expect it to just go into like a mid-range deck because I thought that the rates were just not quite there. Right?
At like 6 mana.
Right, like 4 mana, 2/2 flyer draw card. Like that's not quite good enough. And then at 6 mana, it's like it's reasonable, you know. But there's a lot of competition there. But you know, I was wrong. You know, you're seeing it all over the place in the Sultai decks because those games do go really long. And sure, that's like those are the situations where it's not great. But I guess in the games where it does go long and you randomly have 10 lands in play, it's just like the most ridiculous top deck. As is, to be fair, any X spell, right? But the fact that it's an X spell that has applications at 4 and 6, even though it's not like the best card in those curves, but like it's passable, and then once you get beyond that, it's game breaking. I think,
we were laying out the Sultai deck before the stream, and we're like, if you just like put Hydroid Crisis in the 6th slot with all the Carnage Charms and whatever. It's just like 2, 3, 4, 6.
Right. That's the thing. But then you have to keep in mind, sure, at 4 and 6, it's like maybe slightly worse or not as good as maybe some of the other options. But then, of course, there's the 8, 10, 12 that you can get to where it just takes over.
Of course, when people find it back with Fine Finality.
Did I create Wilderness Reclamation? Seems like a hub card. What about Wilderness Reclamation makes you think it's a me card? I've never really played those types of decks. I'm always like the control guy, or like a mid range guy. Like I'm like a Jund guy. Or like a blue control guy. I'm not really a turbo fog guy. Wow, we are getting, dude. Mono green our only weakness. Ooh, 4/4. I mean, 4/4 is pretty good.
I think it's gonna hold the fort. I think Rekindling Phoenix is also really good against green.
When you design cards, do you have to consider how they will affect all formats, or do you just look at standard?
I mean, we definitely look at all formats. We care about standard the most, clearly.
This gore clause is this the same person?
Yeah, I think it might be.
Right? Like, how many people in Mythic are playing gore claw?
At least 2.
Yeah. Yeah, we can show you the deck list after this. We're probably gonna lose very soon.
Yeah, if you want to know right now, you could. I don't know his Twitter name, so I'm not even gonna try.
Oh man, Deal.
Old 5/5 Pelt Collector.
Goreclaw want me my Dominant champion, man? Don't. I'm not. Look, it's crushing us. So, I don't think the third Pelt Collector gets it done. No, Goreclaw's nice. Very nice. Happy to see play. Happy to have it see play. Gruul deck's best move is Hasty Galta. I love me Hasty Galta. Oh, Galta off of like Rhythm or Domri.
Oh no, the Crawl Harpooner did me in.
Do people even play Rhythm of the Wild?
A lot of people tried it, but also have been seeing a lot of people like, oh wow, this is. Oh wait, it grew a Pokemon. Oh wait, yeah, wait. I think I'm actually gonna win this game. I could do this and then chomp.
I don't know if we're gonna win, but like it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we still have this Thorn Lieutenant.
Yeah,
but I guess we have
to chump it forever with the Pendulum Phoenix.
Yeah.
But we also have a Growth Chamber Golden, so just because they go nuts. Okay.
I play Rhythm, but I'm stuck in Diamond.
Wait, I think we're actually doing it.
Yeah, it looks good. Are we just playing defense here?
Yeah. I want to like force this and then just start Growth Chambering everything. Yeah, so I've seen a lot of people play Rhythm.
Why would they even do that? It doesn't do anything.
Sure. Yeah. And then like they're like, oh, I got this sick deck list. They go 5-0, and then like the next day they tweet and they're like, wow, Rhythm of the Wild is just not pulling its weight.
Yeah. I mean, sure, the Dream Draw is great, right? Like being able to go turn 1 Elf, turn 2 Rhythm, turn 3 whatever.
Yeah.
But wow, we won this game.
Yeah.
Jeez.
2 life against.
Very nice. 97%. Just tuned in and suddenly Paul. Well, I'm pretty much always here for the most part. Well, actually, I'm not going to be here next week. Donald will also not be here next week, as we will be returning from Mythic Championship in Cleveland. So next week will be Melissa with Andrew Brown.
Oh, nice.
So that is a squad for next week, and then following the week after, it'll be Melissa and myself. So okay. that is kind of our schedule moving forward. But here's the deck here.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's really nice? A hasty Crawl Harpooner.
Yeah.
In like a grindy game. It can just hit for $1 billion.
Yeah, I was also seeing like so yeah, this is the deck. It's the first deck we've won with more than lost with on this stream. So it's Spanky KC. Scott Lip is he's who made this deck. He won an RPTQ with it. He tweeted it out, and yeah, I just love these types of decks anyway. I was pretty excited to play it. I love the 4 Collision Colossus, so full 4.
The thing is, I mean, the plummet effect is actually really good in the current metagame, right? You have Drakes and Mono Blue, right? And
Hydroid Crisis.
And also just like people used to play Colossal Might in their like constructed decks. So like, I mean, yeah, it actually pulls a lot of weight right now.
Yeah, he's even main decking 2 Crawl Harpooner.
Yeah, no, this deck is sweet. Actually, for me, the worst card in the deck for me, it looks like the Legion War Boss.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's important to have another 3, obviously, with Llanowar Elves. But I guess maybe that's the best one that's available.
Yeah. I like the Legion War Boss maybe more in the sideboard for control. Right. But yeah, it just depends on what you read the metagame as the weekend.
I think that's like the biggest flex slot here. But yeah, I mean, this deck looks really nice.
Yeah, he has Thrashing Brontodon in the sideboard. You could easily play those over War Boss. Yeah. If you're more worried about aggro. And yeah, we're finally winning. So
there's also like There's also like J-Light Ranger, but J-Light's really awkward with the Pelt Collector because it only has 2 power.
Oh yeah, it does really great. That's like why Crawl Harpooner's like good too, because you could go like Pelt Collector, Growth Chamber, Crawl Harpooner.
Right, high power. Woo! Every hand just looks so nice.
Yeah.
You know? Steel Leaf, well, Triple G is ambitious with the...
Rekindling Phoenix.
Yeah.
Like, the mana base is already a little ambitious because of Rekindling Phoenix.
Right.
Like, you want an elf on turn 1.
2 mana, 3/3, pretty decent. Next turn,
Especially good.
next turn, 2/2 and 3/3.
Yeah.
So many monsters. Nice Pyromancer. What does percentage mean? Well, okay, so percentage is when you hit Mythic, it gives you ranks till the top 1200, and then if you fall below that, then you become a certain percentile of amongst Mythics or whatever. Man, I would hate to be like 1% Mythic or whatever. Like,
Got a nice little curve going.
oh yeah. We played much against white. Takali seems epic against. Well, Takali, first of all, not really the type of card that many decks play main deck.
Does Takali Honor Guard
Does it stop right? I don't even know.
think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Oh, very nice. We got this one in the bag. Mostly because our opponent's stuck on 2 lands. Ooh, they're ranked 354.
Oh yeah,
We're gonna eat up a lot of their elo.
No Mythic Invitational for you, buddy.
Yeah. Nassif was perpetually stuck at 0% because of a bug. Oh, that's great.
We'll take the hit.
Yeah. Chain Whirler probably. That would be good.
We actually should have blocked because it would have just grew.
It would have pumped that, yeah.
Oh well. Yeah.
Will people eventually be 0%? I mean, theoretically, somebody has to be last, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Honor Guard doesn't stop it because it's not a trigger. Off to the races.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean, every time they use a burn spell here, it's not going to our face, right?
You can't kill everything. You use actual 5 removal spells in there, so I want to block it just to deny him Spectacle, if anything.
Because the Phoenix can just go all the way.
Yeah. Sure. Just no skewer, like double skewer.
Why did Light Up the Stage make it through R&D? Because we thought it was a sweet option.
Yeah.
And it's a cool card. I mean, I don't think it's, you know.
I don't know. People like talk about that card as if it was 8 out of 8 on the top 8 of Memphis or something. Yeah. It's just like 0 copies.
Anytime like a card, yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's a good card, but it's sweet.
Yeah,
like red should do a little bit more than
than
just like drawing their opening 7 and playing that out. Like Mono Red has not done well recently.
For example, I like this just having some extra spells that lets Red do some other stuff. Like, I remember just like, I was looking at all the spells in Red for all the different cubes I had, and it was literally 16 burn spells. There was just nothing else Red did.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Would you keep this?
Yeah.
Would you keep this?
Yes. What are the draw?
Yep.
Well, you got some very strong opinions there, so we'll just leave it at that, man. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Oh, we played against this person already.
Oh yeah, this looks good.
Ooh, but we got a 1% edge.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, we're 1%. We're 1% better than our opponent. Chances of land war living.
I'm actually blocking, so 0.
Yeah. That means they have Chain Whirler for sure,
Yeah.
right? That's Chain Whirler like 100%.
All right, well.
Oh, you don't want to play the Grow Chamber?
No.
That attack makes me think of Chain Whirler. But all right, that's my read. We'll see. Oh wait, they're taking time. What is happening?
Very aggressive.
What just happened?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't even understand.
They need to trigger that spectacle, man.
Dude. That's why we made it, to
This
trick
card's
people.
Too good.
Why didn't they just cast it? Why did they need to lightning strike our dome? They could have just cast it. They wanted to draw. I'm like, you know, you can pay 3 mana to play that card.
Has Quench hit the target you set, or has its lack of play made you reevaluate? It doesn't have a lack of play, right?
Right. I mean, I think it's about at the right spot. It's one of those things. We're in an environment where we have lots of great 2-mana options. If all of a sudden you remove Syncopate, Essence Capture, or Essence Scatter, you're just going to see a lot more Quench.
Yeah.
Like, people are just going to look to that. Like,
And people are already playing it a lot too.
Right, exactly.
Let's
It's
not
just
forget
like-
that. I'll rumble with the elf. What are you gonna do, Paul?
What is happening here?
I don't know.
Wait, why? You did it monstrous?
I have another one in hand.
Yeah, but like, you still get the. What? It doesn't really matter.
Oh wait.
You just pump your thing, and it
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't realize like I just traded. Okay.
See, just so you know, Donald is legit very, very good at Magic, but balancing streaming while also playing. I mean, I'm sure the MPL players have let you know, like it is difficult. It is definitely difficult.
I mean, I was just like, the opponent cast light the stage on turn 3. I just couldn't believe how we got it through. How did we print that card and started making me play badly?
Just full blown tilt. Gotta be mana efficient, right? Wait, no, it's the same mana.
Yeah, it's the same mana for a 4/4.
We would have just had an extra card in our hand.
I'm just saying, this wouldn't have had trample.
Okay, fair enough. There was the chain whirler that we thought our opponent had earlier. Whoa. Wait, this game got a lot closer all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Off to the races? Yeah, because 4 and then we can lethal them next turn.
Ooh.
Right?
I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah. Donald's favorite word in Magic is lethal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we do. Wow, this card's nice.
Yes, Leaky Shadow. I mean, to be fair, like Disdainful Stroke and Negate are strong, but not necessarily the types of cards that you play lots of copies of in the main deck. Like Stroke is a very, very effective sideboard card. Negate, 1 or 2 of. Quench is a little more utility, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the type of card that if you're starting like a control deck or whatever, even a tempo deck, like, you know, it's the type of card that you would play, you know, 2 to 3 copies of maybe. I also don't mind the 1 Quench, just like, because when your opponent gets quenched that one time, they just like go through hoops to play around it. All right, nice. Look at this.
This deck's doing it.
Well, this one is actually like a proven deck, right?
Yeah.
Like this one, like has won a PTQ. It's got all good cards. It's not playing convolute, like you know, like. So. Quench also has a place for draft. I get quenched all the time in limited. Like I don't know whether or not it's correct. I get quenched all the time. I'm just playing like my 3 mana card that I like. You know, first pick that I'm playing against an Azorius deck. I'm like, please don't quench me. Please don't quench me. Is Force Spike a card that would ever see print?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's a weird one. Like,
Oh yes,
wait,
the dream.
yeah, you want to do this, right?
I think so. I guess there's also just Spellbreaker. Like maybe Spellbreaker's
I like
better.
it. This is too saucy.
You just
I mean, he probably has Pridemate too. Or denying that's pretty important.
right. Yeah, that would be the reason.
I think that's the tiebreaker for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stone Rain's an interesting one. Not Stone Rain is not an interesting one.
I used to play Stone Rain in the standard.
Force Spike's an interesting question, I think.
Right.
I'm inclined to say no because the feel bad is like it's just less fun than it is like healthy or whatever, even though the card's not like abstractly too powerful or whatever.
Dude, Force Spike
like,
in that mono blue deck.
Yeah, that might actually just be super messed up.
Right.
Like,
All right, what do we got here? I feel like I see negate more often in main instead of Quench. Yeah. And disdainful stroke side. Yes, that is true. The thing is, Quench has a lot of competition in terms of the exact spot in the curve that it occupies, right? Like I was saying, Syncopate exists, Essence Scatter exists. Those are the types of things that you want early as counters against what a lot of opponents do early on. So you're going to see those over Quench, and then negate is a more unique card, you know, having a cheap card counter against, you know, some of the bigger threats that people have late game. But again, like easily, if Essence Scatter or whatever, even if Syncopate isn't in the format, people would play Quench. I mean, again, we talked about it before. People played Rebuff. Revolutionary Rebuff is a Quench that doesn't get artifacts in a standard environment where the best card was Smuggler's Copter and Aetherworks Marvel, right? Like,
and Torrential Gearhulk.
Yeah, and people still played a worse Quench. What do you miss most about streaming, and why is it Utomog? Utomog was good times. You know, like just the frequent interaction with all of you. You know, this is one thing that I found, because you know, I play other games and there's a lot of other gaming communities, but I think the Magic community is one of the best, right? There's so much more toxicity in a lot of other games that you play, right? And so if you know people ever say anything negative about Magic, it's like it's 1,000 times worse in a lot of other games. And so I just miss the interaction with all of you guys, you know, honestly.
Has Scargon Hellkite been good for you in this deck? Well, we haven't drawn it, so I don't know.
Scott Lip in the chat here. Spanky. This deck looks great. Getting played by two handsome fellows.
Yeah, so if you want to know the deck list, Spanky KC in the chat. He is the creator of this deck, qualified, won the RPTQ with it.
Hey,
so go follow him on Twitter.
Hey Scott,
you can plug his Twitter if you want.
Yeah, how high are you on the Mythic ranks with this deck? You're probably better than 99%.
Probably just a bit. Ravager SC, we don't do Oracle updates like that for like mechanics and stuff. That also does have a power level implication, because that would make it work with disinformation.
You're right, which is a card.
So that's not actually just like a aesthetics thing either. It's actually a.
Oh wow, you were 22 and now 32. Okay, so you are actually within reach of top 8.
Yeah.
So Scott might be lacking some sleep towards the tail end of that one. But I was wondering, I'm like, man, why is somebody being so nice and calling us handsome? Who could this be? And I'm like, oh, it's Scott. And we're playing his deck. Yeah, Hellkite's a nice one.
But yeah, so to the person that asked about Scargon Hellkite earlier, you could just ask Scott Lip in the chat about how good it is. Because we haven't drawn it yet.
I mean, if you untap, card is great.
Or if there are 4.
Or just hasty flyer
or
gets the job
with
done.
8 with 7 mana.
This deck doesn't have Domri, right?
Our deck, no.
No, because it's just beatdowns. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
So I think Scargon Hellkite's pretty good here.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
The Hellkite won me a lot of games in Singleton. Oh man, I went deep on Singleton this past weekend. Made apparently White Weenie is still very strong. There's a lot of different options that are about the same power level, you know, which is I don't think necessarily a bad thing either. It's just like there's just a lot of different ones you can choose from, and everybody's trying to play these like crazy 3-color decks with 17 guild gates just to make their mana work, and you're just like, getcha. And that is awesome because people get so mad when you do draw your Benalish Marshal. Or History of Benalia, turn 3.
Yeah.
I always get the nice, like, because you're playing Singleton, and I'm like, one of my hands, I literally went like Legion's Landing, Vanguard, Benalish, History of Benalia into Consecrator, and then they were just, Venerated Luxodon, and they were just like, what the heck? What are you doing? I'm like, it's in my deck, you know, like.
You play the card to draw.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I say about the 1-ofs every time.
Yeah, the 1-of fun-ofs. Oh, here, this is an interesting one.
Yeah.
We're on the draw, which is worse, but I mean, you know, no Curious Obsession, which is nice.
Okay.
So they could have Essence Capture.
Yeah. think I just want to jam War Boss anyway.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. It puts the most pressure.
Yep. Oh, Scott just said play around.
Play around what?
Trickster. Yeah. It's kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah. Also, wouldn't they have like maybe Trickster the alpha on upkeep?
Yeah. Kind of.
But yeah. Whatever it was, it got countered.
Someone asked, did we expect mono blue tempo to be as strong as it is? No, but like the weird thing about decks like this is that they're not like inherently strong or anything. They're just like really good metagame choices, right? Like the cards that this deck doesn't play aren't like that powerful, but it's just the metagame is so much Sultai and Nexus and blue control that it just like lines up so well.
Right.
So we didn't expect it because we don't have such a defined metagame over here in FFL, but we're really glad it exists because without mono blue, I think the format might be kind of problematic.
You know, I mean, honestly, yeah. In a world, because you know, when we test, we want to make sure that we have all the decks represented. So we're going to have like several aggressive decks.
Yeah.
And the blue decks are very bad against very aggressive strategies. Mm-hmm. So you know, I guess we didn't have it as a tier 1 option, but given what's going on in standard, it is kind of the like, you know, it keeps things in check, which is nice. The funny thing about this, I remember when I first saw this deck, and I was just like, you know, people kind of looked at this as like a bit of a joke deck, and then it's just evolved into like one of the best decks, and that's happened like multiple times with other decks too. I feel it's just like people just like, what is this collection of cards? Oh, it's actually legitimately good.
Yeah.
You know, Ken Yukuhiro kind of was one of the first people to popularize this, right? Because he is a well-known player that played this at like high-level events. But yeah, I mean, deck's been putting in a lot. I mean, Tempest Djinn, right?
Yeah.
Like all those CC, like basically, again, all the monocolor decks that I've had success all have the triple casted rare cards that are good, and the only one that was just that we undershot on was the Dreadshade, which is just. I remember there was like a mono black deck that one of the Brazilian teams played, and they didn't even play Dreadshade in their deck. It was like. Were you guys worried about Krasis at all during play? I mean, we tested the card a lot. If anything, we thought it was a little under. Which is why we added the cast trigger on that one, just to have it be a little more relevant in the ramp strategies, because it's kind of like your payoff for ramping, and then just getting it countered and having nothing happen was a little bit sad. I you know, honestly, the jury's still out on that card, and I think we're just gonna, you know, get a little more information after this Mythic Championship this weekend. Yeah, and I mean, I don't mind it, that kind of card being one of the better cards in the format. Of course, it could go too far. Right. Jury's still out, but like our past standards have been a touch too fast and like a lot of like just curving out, and I like that we finally just have mid range, you know, like. Sure. Ooh, this is an essence capture? Because I saw them. Oh, never mind. You know what I don't like? I don't like being able to see what my opponent's mouse over. Yeah. Because it gives away information. Because, like, for example, when I have, like, a find finality in my hand, or if my opponent has it, they just, like, you just see them looking through their graveyard. And I was just like, this just gives away too much information. Like, I don't know if that's necessary. Yeah. It's weird, too, though, because, how close are they to killing us? We can block still. They're not close, yeah. Well, if they play a land... They play a land... That's 7 damage. Yeah. I mean, we have. And if they go land Trickster, I guess we die. Sure. Yeah, but it's pretty hard. Okay. Ooh, these are close. They probably won't even attack with Trickster. Is that they do that to show you that your opponent is actually alive and looking at things? I mean, the timer and them doing things already. I guess no attacks at all. Wow. I guess they have a lethal attack next turn, right? Yeah. But like we just attack. I think we just send all. Yeah, I mean that's probably our only chance here. Yeah, I feel like we're dead, but I haven't counted. Yeah, I mean, Scarred for Life. That's just kind of the world we live in, though, right? I think Arena has done the pretty close to the best that they could do, given the resources and replicating paper, but also giving you that smooth, gameplay feel. So,
yeah, it's not even gonna necessarily want to replicate paper 100% because
Right.
I don't want to shuffle at my computer.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
So I'm glad some things are just optimized for online.
Right.
Okay.
Did we die? Oh.
It's-
Yeah, we're dead. Wait, no.
We're not
What?
dead, but we're behind.
Scargan Hellkite.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Scargon off the top. That'll do it.
Oh no. Or if our opponent draws nothing, +4/+2.
Yeah.
And if they play something, we can just kill the flyer. Okay, here we go. Here we go, folks. We have draws.
We got one shot,
We got draws.
one opportunity.
The Phoenix is a good draw too.
Yeah.
Forest
That
does
ain't
not
it.
get it done. God, so close, Donald, to 100%.
Yeah.
So close.
That was a really close game. Actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I get really anxious about what I. Yeah, I mean, now I try to run the bluffs, like scroll through my graveyard even when I don't have Fine Finality, just to make them think I have it. Like, for example, when your opponent's playing a fight spell, because
Yeah.
their mouse is hovering over your creature, and their creature, all right, I'm about to get Savage Smashed or whatever.
What is the likelihood of Graveyard Order Matters cards?
Don't
0.
Don't think we're doing that one. Don't think we're that. We used to, but that was a long time ago.
When someone showed me Nether Spirit or whatever for the first time,
If it's the top card,
I was like, has anyone play tested with this card? Why?
Right.
What is the purpose? It's just so awkward.
Right.
Like
Do you
can I
not
look
like-
through your graveyard? All right, but keep.
do you
in
not
this
like the
order.
idea of using the cursor for a way to try to bluff? No, not really. I would just rather not have. Yeah. I guess just the answer is not really. I'd rather just not be able to see.
Ooh, you're right. This is a better move. Wait, it's actually the same thing. Whether I did or not. But I don't know. This probably makes him feel worse. This probably puts him more in tilt. So I'll take.
Well, the pump was better in one of the previous lines, right?
it.
But,
Probably.
No,
Oh.
the clean answer.
Oh, no. It's the only deck that plays Lava Coil anymore too.
Yeah.
Rekindling Phoenix. is
All the
so
Lava
good
Coils?
against
Are
everything.
they
else.
attacking us? Ooh.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
just enough.
just enough. Just enough. Don't dive down us, bro.
Yeah.
Or shock. I guess shock also works.
Ooh, that's a green Doomblade if I ever seen one.
Yeah. Look at that. Man. What genius put that? I think I would play that one, yeah. Now, any draw is reasonable, is the way I like. Oh, nope, never mind. I would like to draw another Doomblade. Okay, fine. Oh yeah, ready to just fire it off, you know? Don't do it! Okay. Boom. 5 mana 4/4, what's up?
So I saw a bug where the adapt animation happens on their deck for some reason.
Whoa.
Like if you put this on top of their deck in the middle of it adapting, it just adapts their deck.
I saw a visual bug where I hostage takered something. Oh, I hostage takered a Hydroid Crisis, and then they killed my hostage taker before I cast it, and then a 0/0 Crisis was just on the board.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was pretty
Yeah.
funny. But you couldn't interact with it.
You
or
can't do anything. It's just
or
like an emblem of nothing. Mono white 12/0 best mythic Q, no rules. All right. These guardians.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ooh, dive down.
Oh,
It must
yeah,
be dive down.
That is dive down. I don't know. How many we got there? Remember the deck at work
Yeah,
where
oh,
I played
no,
only
no.
3?
Unreal.
So Emma Handy actually done that. She made a Sultai list with only 3 Growth Chamber Guardians and 1 in the sideboard.
Yep.
So I'm just saying we're onto something.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay, we're dead.
We're dead. That Drake deck, it closes out so quickly.
Oh, it does. It does. I mean, we don't have that much removal in this deck, to be honest. Oh, no, we have 6 ways to... No, 8 ways. We have 8 ways to kill the Drakes. Yeah. I mean, Crackling Drake is a nice card. Is a nice card. I know we went back and forth on that card a bit, but I think we actually ended up at like the perfect, close to the perfect rate on that.
Oh, this is a D's hand.
Need some lands. Hello, I'm poor and sad. Well,
I'm sorry.
I already got started and I couldn't stop myself. That is just their account name. Just
Yeah.
all right. Yeah. Need to get a little looser with those attacks. No, I mean, we weren't gonna win that regardless. I mean, even if they just eat our creature or whatever. Bolt the bird. Oh, he's bolt the bird.
Yeah, maybe if we attacked all twice, I don't think that would have done it though.
All right, land. Lando. Wow. Somebody's got a frenzy in their hand.
Ooh, very aggressive.
Easy block.
Yep, snap that off.
Yes, please burn our spellbreaker. All right, land.
Land.
Light up the stage. All right. Ooh, that was a light up the stage. I just knew it was gonna be stomping around. It's just like
that hurt.
Is this the end of their turn? Oh yeah, they have the wizard's little light
yeah.
thing. Oh no, this is their turn, right? They play the Steamkin and then they play the lightning.
Yep.
Makes sense. Yep. Uh-oh. We're going to the tank.
Yeah. 16, 9 plus 4. Alright, so it's not worth attacking.
Was light up the stage Rakdos ever? I don't think so.
No.
I mean, we kind of have a Rakdos light up the stage, right? It's the arena looking card. Theater? Is it theater?
Yep.
Theater of Horrors? Uh-oh. Here's the frenzy. Yep. It makes sense because they were just firing off all their spells willy-nilly. All right, this is rough.
Doing this should help a lot though.
All right, let's hope our opponent has some frenzies on top. You need to attack.
I don't think we
Okay.
can. Maybe?
I don't actually know. Like, I'm wondering if we're supposed to attack with one of the
Oh,
creatures.
yeah, we should. Yeah.
Dead to a lot of things. A lot of things. You know what we're not dead to? Land.
Or a 4-drop.
Or 4-drop. Okay, dead to lightning strike.
I'll do it.
Maybe they play 30 lands? Yeah. Oh no, 97%.
Alright. Yeah, we're back down.
Yeah, Theater of Horrors is a nice one. 19 lands, all you need. Yeah, I know. I know the red decks play a little bit less lands in the You want to try the majors thing? Although we might just get smushed.
Nah. I'm thinking about giving a game with 4 colored gates.
Oh, dude, let's rock some gates.
Mostly because I need to do this quest. Even though I only have 1 white spell.
What happens if the rarity account makes top 8 mythic? It will just go down to the next person. It's the same way, like if an MPL player makes it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happens if an R&D account makes top 8 mythic and then they quit? Are they eligible? I have no idea.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, if I get close, I'd like to try just to, but like I just don't have that kind of time.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, nice. Okay. That was really fast.
Yeah, if you actually hold a card,
Mm-hmm.
it speeds up any animation that's going on.
Wow. Okay.
So, like when people are playing combo decks, like with 1,000-Year Storm or something.
Isn't this just like an ideal draw for us? Like growth spiral into.
Yeah.
I guess we kind of.
That's an ideal draw for him, though.
That's fair. We need the ram.
Yeah. This Archway Angel one dies a bit of time.
Sure. We need a red one for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't actually play this deck very much. Gates of Blaze would be great. I mean, this Angel's gonna gain us a ton of life.
Yeah. It's gonna gain us 10 life.
Which is like a fog.
Oh yeah, we have this too. Oh, I should have played this actually. I thought this was the one that you have to pay or it dies.
Oh, you played a... Yeah, I mean, it seems unlikely that we'll die, but yeah. I think it was... Yeah, it's still correct, right?
With heroic reinforcements, anything could happen.
That's true. What deck should I play to get the Cheon's Blessing? I don't even know what that means. like maybe a bunch of Ascend cards? Boom, gain 12.
Only 10.
Only 10. Oh, okay, yeah. Next turn, we get to play a Crisis and a Plaza.
Yeah. So we'll gain 1, 2, 3. We'll gain 6 next turn. And I think we still might die, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be very awkward if we draw another Plaza of Harmony next turn.
Mm-hmm. Then I'll feel very,
very
stupid.
sad. I mean, oh, God. Gates ablaze, please. All right, I think we survive next turn.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, look at this. This is new.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, they added this last patch. They added like a lot of cool little things, like quality of life improvements. Oh, there's a bunch of triggers on the stack too. There's a resolve all button.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The deck builder, you could zoom out and see 24 cards now too, if you want.
Jeez. Okay.
So,
yeah, you know, I think people still don't understand that like Arena's still on beta. Like, look at how clean it is, given that it's on beta. You know what I mean?
So I think this is just like in the gaming world lately, like beta has stopped meaning anything because like companies will be like, here's a beta, here's all the cosmetics and stuff you can buy. Probably 10, 20,
21. Okay, maybe 15. Not that.
Yeah, we go to 1. We're gonna be dead. We need a gate of plate. We need a dig for gates of plate. Oh my goodness. We're gonna probably still lose actually. That ain't it. Alright, so we could draw 3 cards.
Even if we find Gates of Blaze, we lose, right?
Yeah, I think so. But
Oh well.
Try anyway.
Oh well.
Oh.
All right. I think. No, we're still dead. I was like,
what?
No. I was thinking, what would have happened if we were on the play?
Oh yeah.
But like, we didn't draw anything. We didn't draw any action.
We need.
I mean, that is the issue with ramp decks. Sometimes you just draw all air.
Yeah, especially like these gate decks. They need like those 2 payoffs, and
Right.
that's it.
It leans very heavily on the sweepers. Does it play Clarion too, or is it just Gates of Blaze?
This deck plays Clarion in the sideboard.
Okay.
I could see for best of 1 playing more in the main deck,
Right.
but
Like 6 or whatever.
Yeah,
6
yeah.
rats total.
I don't know.
Alright.
This might just be a hand you keep in this deck. We got
Yeah. We go gate, game 3, do nothing. Well, as in, we didn't actually do anything to affect the board. Well, can't even kill it.
Even kill it.
Yeah. That might just get out of reach next turn with the J-Light. Guess we have a circuitous route. But yeah. It's
I
okay.
think
I would guess that this is probably one of our
Yeah.
better matchups.
I think this is a really good matchup for us. It's just gonna take a while.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a little elbow grease to get through it.
I would not get Gateway Plaza. That's
It's so crazy that that's a 1-0.
Yeah.
I think that land is heinous.
Well, I don't think it's correct. You just like you can't grow spiral or circuitous route into it like on curve. Like
Do we Gates of Blaze? I kind of think we do. What do you think? We could just Angel also.
yeah. I mean, it feels like they have a cast down or whatever, but yeah, Gates of Blaze seems reasonable here. Yeah. We're not gonna get that much more value anyways. And like, what's the like? They can play like a Vivian next turn or something.
Yeah, Vivian is a little scary, but whatever. We just kind of out card draw the Vivian.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Monster CC. Current standard is really diverse. I've heard a lot of people say it's the best in a while. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. We did it. Oh, nice.
Speaking of doing it.
All right, let's draw some cards.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Draw 3 cards. Oh, look at that. You saved 4 clicks. Ooh, can we just play it?
No, it's a 3.
Oh. Best in the last decade. I don't know about that. We've probably had a lot of good standard formats between this and 10 years ago.
What was 10 years ago?
Dude, I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if the answer is yes.
Yeah. 2009? RTR was a little before that, but yeah. Did they keep Thought Eraser on top? Should we steal a bunch of stuff?
Oh, they did. Okay, good call. I did not recognize that.
We can steal 2 things?
1, 2. 1, 2. Yeah, we could steal 2 things.
Yeah. I think we do that, right? I mean, we just have to get such a good board. And like, if they take our don't play a gate though.
Why not? Oh, because they take the Colossus.
I think you're not supposed to play.
Yeah,
gate.
no, I agree. Wow, it's weird. Like, we didn't even take good creatures, but it actually just still feels that savage.
Yeah. I mean, mass manipulation is one of my favorite cards. Let's just say I always have 1 copy of my sideboards of any deck that I make in FFL, even if it's incorrect.
Yeah.
It is just that sweet of a card. All right, double gate Colossus get ya. I guess we can grow spiral first.
Yeah, we'll see what's up with this.
Boom. How does our opponent just beat 2 8s?
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, yes, the Father Erasure is right
Our opponent can't even play a Crisis big enough. I guess they can play land. Yep, it's a 7/7 Crisis.
Are they dead? They're not dead, man.
Whew. Can we just attack with everything, right?
Oh, and just finish it off. Yeah, I like hitting this with the...
Yep.
How much can we do for 1, 2, 3, 6? Do you like hitting it for 4 or 6?
6.
good deck.
I guess now we can play Gate.
Yeah.
Yes! Gate Colossus. Good in all formats. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Right, we need to go back to the Gruul deck because we only have 5 minutes.
Yep.
Oh, I need to cast for one more white spell, though.
Do you have a deck with... No, I don't want to play Snow
No,
Pirates.
me neither.
What's the other one? Red or white?
White or black.
White or black?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
whatever.
I'll just deal with it on my own time.
Yeah, so we're going to be done in about 4 minutes.
Yep.
So we're going to try to play some Turbo Magic. But we will be back at it next week. I will not be here. Neither will Donald. Both of us are going to be headed to Cleveland for the Mythic Championship. So you guys should totally watch coverage of that this weekend. So instead of us, you will have Melissa DeTora and Andrew Brown, who will be doing the stream next week. And I do want to thank all of you for tuning in today, asking a bunch of questions. Maybe some of them we can't answer because it's questions with regards to Cards and War, which we can't talk about, of course. Stop trying to get us in trouble.
I already got in trouble once. They keep coming at me.
Haas the Marshall. Ooh. We might be able to win a quick one here.
Yeah. We don't have a green mana.
Oh, we don't have green. Okay. This is game 4? Oh, we might just lose.
Yeah. This might just be good enough, though.
Yeah. What should you play at Magic Fest LA? I don't even know what the format is. A good deck. A good deck.
Modern.
Uh-oh, they drew a second land. How lucky. Who are we rating today?
That's what I gotta find out.
All right. So we will be rating somebody very shortly. This is the thing about this mono white, this white weenie deck. It can just cast all of its spells with 2 lands.
Yeah.
The power of Convoke, everybody. Is the Phoenix the play?
No.
Okay. Oh, is he ascended?
No.
Okay.
He's just making 2/2 goblins, I think.
Okay. Ooh, we're gonna take some hits here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this Hazard Marsh is actually gonna be pretty good.
Oh. It's okay. I believe.
I don't.
Oh man. Okay, yeah. We're kind of dead. Our opponent was stuck on 1 land for like 3 turns.
Yeah, he sure was.
Well, at least it was a quick game. That's what we were going for. I'm assuming we're just dead if our opponent attacks with everything. With
Probably.
Hosden Marshall. Does it put attacking tokens?
No,
right?
no.
Okay,
No.
it just makes 10.
Okay,
that'll do.
That'll do.
That'll do. Unbreakable for I mean, that is a heck of a card.
Yeah,
you
for
know,
real.
just the perfect curve topper, and it's so much. It just feels so much nicer having that in your hand than like Pride of Conquerors, because sometimes that card is just like, what am I doing with my life?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, it is 3:59. Don't quite have enough time for any more matches, but hope you enjoyed watching us lose with all kinds of decks.
But win with this one.
But win with this one, so quickly show you the Gruul deck that we actually used to win matches with. This is a Scott Lip special that he used to qualify for one of the Mythic Championships, along with, of course, the deck that he's been using to grind up the ladder. So This is the deck, very, very sweet. Just a Gruul beatdown deck. All the best Gruul beatdown creatures. A little bit of removal, and just get them. Maybe you can show them the sideboard too.
Oh yeah, if you're interested.
There you go. Ooh, quad Cindervines, nice.
Yeah, quad Cindervines.
Is that against like Nexus of Fate?
Yeah, it's really good against the Nexus decks. Might just actually be good against Control too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel this is like a pretty one-card anti-Nexus card.
Okay. All right. So on that note, again, I want to thank all of you for watching. Remember, the Mythic Championship this weekend will be in Cleveland, and we're going to be covering that. Donald's going to be there. So if you're going to show up, you can talk to him and complain about whatever cards you don't like. I'll be doing coverage there. So next week, we'll have Andrew Brown, Melissa be joining us. And we are going to be rating Daddy Warbucks. So on behalf of all of us and the rest of Play Design, we'll see you next week.